does it seem like I can hear you outside of my earbuds?
You can hear me outside.
Hmm. It's not picking up my AirPods. It's okay.
I can hear you. I can hear your audio clearly.
Hmm.
Okay. You can hear mine, right?
Very well, very clear.
Okay. Merci. So let's see. We don't have anyone yet. So maybe we'll give them 5 minutes. We'll keep talking and maybe they will join.
Okay.
Hopefully, what happened last week did not discourage anybody.
I'm telling you. But
It
they need
was,
information. They'll like
yeah,
it.
yeah, for sure. I'm expectant that they will join. But the video will always be there for somebody to
To watch.
replay and watch. Yeah. Because there was even a lady in UK that asked me a question in the morning. I told her, okay, come to the live. So she said
Hmm.
she's working night. Now it's like 8 p.m. UK
Yes,
time.
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So she's on night shift. Say, okay, no worries. You can watch the recording later. You know. Surprisingly, not just the lady. When I was in UK, a handful of them want to move. So my question, were you leaving pounds for Canadian
For
dollar?
Canadian dollar.
But I mean, interestingly, so many people were their need, you know,
Hmm.
and the instability in immigration policies
Hmm.
that
Yes,
UK
sorry for
before
UK. Yeah.
Canada, right? So people like to have that stability.
And regardless of
And
how strong I feel or we feel the pounds is,
yeah,
I feel like as an adult,
yeah,
I know for like maybe I might not be so certain that people in Canada
yeah.
and back home
Based on what?
compared to people like based on visible projects, like you know that this person is practically doing fair for themselves.
Why is this so? Is it like, but we come to think about it, the taxing, and I'm not so sure, sha, but the taxing system in Canada is called the worse than UK.
I
Because
feel it's worse than UK, but I don't understand all the fuss about UK. Yeah, you people pay a lot of tax. I don't know, Sha.
yeah, but
And Canadians are underpaid compared to the US.
another issue altogether. Yes, that's even another thing entirely. For the US and Canada, you can't compare based on payment and all that. No, the rates are crazily different. You know. But circling back to your point, how I put that things off, I tend to wonder if the value of the pound sterling, which is actually the truth, is higher than the Canadian dollar. So why is it then that okay, Canada supposedly never put that things better? Yeah.
I don't know. Here for be Canada, 2 years,
Yeah.
3 years, go no, na Canada, middle mortgage. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now look on Nigeria, even with the rat race in Canada. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And like, I feel like we are more free giving than in the UK. They are more tight fisted.
That's another thing
So I don't know.
entirely. Big tight fisted. That's another thing entirely now. But I don't really know. But I agree with you. The ball game is like, I don't know. The pendulum is swinging towards Canadian
Hmm.
than UK, which is to me surprising because the earning capacity, from my little experience anyway, is more. Okay. All right. I think we have a bunch of guys in here. We'll keep talking our private G's later. So let's not waste so much time. Welcome to this live stream, and I hope to see more of you guys join as we move along. I would like to make it as quickly and as brief as possible, but as the spirit leads, so we'll continue to move from there. Most especially, I would like to thank you, Afoma, for doing this. Um, Guys, if you guys are wondering why her camera is is turned off, that's my agreement with her that if she's going to do this, then she will do it behind the scene, not showing her face and stuff like that. And I respect people's privacy, their opinions, and all that. So that's why we're not seeing her, her beautiful face. But I mean, above all, is the information that really matter, right? So thank you again, Afoma, for doing this. And apologies for what happened last week. It was really crazy, but I mean, together we handled it, and here we are to learn from you your journey from Lagos to Alberta, Canada. Okay, it was in the course of our discussion I even learned your, the specific, how do I call it, municipality where you reside in Alberta. And interestingly, you gave me a reason why, but we'll get to that. So okay, thank you, Chinedu, for joining us. Dr. Chinedu Agwama, my in-law, thank you for being here. um the second name on this stream, I welcome you, but I can't see the name. But thanks for joining us. Chinedu, I promise you to do something on this stream for you because of the question you posed. We'll still get to that, but let's allow this to flow naturally. Like I said, I'll drop an MTN voucher for the early commerce. So give me a minute. I'll put that in the comment section. If you're using MTN, you can use this to top up your voucher even as we go along. So you can find that in the comment section. Use that to top up your MTN line so that you don't run out of data. Okay. Thank you very kindly for being here. So, Afoma, let's start this way. Tell us a little bit of your background. Like my aim is just to squeeze out as much juice from you as possible. Welcome, Akime. Akime, we've been talking. Thank you for being on this live as well. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully, you pop up one or two questions that will help us to unpack more. Sorry, I don't have things for those in Cameroon. I hope to do more later. So, uh, back to you, Afoma. Like I said, I just want to learn from your journey how you made it. Because from the little I know about you, you are a young, vibrant Nigerian. When you were back home, I can't remember you working for like any government establishment or something. What I mean by that, you did business on your own, right? If I'm correct.
Yes, I did business on my own, and I also had a job.
Okay, an official job. Okay, so you have two
Yes.
of them by the side. All right, that's fantastic. So tell us your background quickly, please. How you made it from Nigeria to Alberta, Canada. I'll say ask you why you choose Alberta because I remember you telling me or asking me when you started where do you reside and all that. So tell us a little bit of a background, please. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for having me, first of all. Again, let me introduce myself. My name is Afoma. My background, educationally, my first degree was in zoology, and I had my master's again in zoology, but a branch of it in conservation and environmental management. But professionally, I had a stint with admin, and I progressed to procurement and logistics. And at that point, I was doing procurement and logistics with in construction. So that's where the business thing came in. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
I branched out and did a little business there in procurement as well, with people in construction. That was by the side. Anyway,
Hmm. But did all this matter in your journey? Like, officially, you're a zoologist. The construction thing is just by the wayside. Because more often than not really what we studied in school is what we end up practicing out there when we leave school, right?
sure.
So, did all these your background, having a zoological background, working as an admin in a construction firm, did it matter in this journey? And at what point?
Okay, so what mattered, like in an enclosure, was the work experience. Okay, not the specific job I was doing. As long as the NOC, of course, that's the occupational ranking, was what Canada needed or was among the jobs that they required, it wasn't a problem for me. You understand? So, um, it wasn't much of a problem. Let me put it that way. My
All right.
professional background, yeah.
When you talk about NOC, because I know some of these guys here, I can speak for Dr. Agwama. We did PhD together before I
Yeah.
moved to Winnipeg to finish. His background is chemistry. Now, when
Mm.
you talk about NOC, Which of the NOC did you use?
I used procurement. I can't quite remember the exact number.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's procurement, right?
but
But
it
that,
was on managerial level.
oh, managerial level.
Yes, it
How
was
did
in.
that work out?
Okay, so because I had years of experience, so at some point I got to management. You understand me? So if you try to look for that NOC under the Canadian ranking system, their classification, you might just see it as I think I saw it as a supervisor somewhere. But I used the
Yeah, supervisor.
management. Yeah, I used the management because that was what I actually was. So again, what I was doing didn't really matter. It was the years of experience that mattered, and as long as they had it, it was available as an NOC.
Okay. So which pathway now? So that we narrow it down. So that people don't really get confused. What particular pathway did you use?
So the pathway I used was the FSW, the Federal Skilled Worker, the General Express Entry.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So at that particular point, what was the score like? What was your score?
Okay, at that point, I would say that we were the lucky ones because that was the match. I called it I had a personal name. I called it the souvenir match because I had my NOC, I had my ITA March 2023, where I think we had 21,000 ITAs for that month. You understand? Yeah. So after that
Oh,
match, everything skyrocketed. Yes. So I was invited with 481.
481. And did you
Yes.
include your masters?
Yes, sure.
Okay. But does it mean if I don't have any masters, then my hope is lost?
Uh unfortunately.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
But if I don't have masters, let's talk about a little bit about this express entry. If I don't have masters and age is on my side, would I be able to balance off at some point? Because
To an
why I'm asking
extent.
this, sorry, why I'm asking this is this, that some of the pathways we have age limitation to it. Let's say um age is on my side, but my degree stopped at bachelor's. Can it be like complementing each other in that way?
No, to be candid, to be really candid,
Yeah,
with what it is now,
yeah.
unfortunately, no. Even with the highest IELTS score, you might not really stand a chance.
Why do you think so?
Because of course, they do the points grade system.
Right.
Okay, so everything matters. Everything it depends on, even if you max out for each level of the grading system. At the end of the day, if you don't have so much things, like if age is not on your side,
Yeah,
or if age is on your side and your educational qualification is not on your side, you don't have the highest level, which is the
right.
PhD that gives you 150 points, or the masters, as the case may be, that gives you 135 points. You might not really stand a chance. And even if you have your professional experience and have it over 3 years, and your IELTS score is low, I think these two things, everything just works together. But
Yeah.
but your professional experience and your IELTS score works hand in
Hmm.
hand, like concurrently, because this impacts the other.
Okay. And that's what I want to get at from here, because it doesn't really matter what I studied, it's where my work experience lies. If you're talking about express entry, am I correct?
Somehow.
Somehow, because even if my background is, let's say, for example, um, in zoology, like you said, you went in under procurement because of your work experience, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay. So the fact is this, it doesn't really matter. What matters most majorly from my experience is your work experience if it's in need.
yes,
Okay. If it's in need, that is what really matters. Okay.
yes.
Now, one of the things I pen down to ask you is, which agent did you use as you walked along this pathway?
Unfortunately or fortunately, I didn't use any agent. I did everything myself. And that's why I think I have a lot of information about it.
Okay. Because when
Yes.
I tell people some of these things are what you can see out there,
It's
you
out
don't
there.
really need any particular agent to get it done for you. I shudder when people, well, yeah, I think it's because of where we are coming from. Most people are used to, being spoon fed and stuff like that. But I would like to encourage anyone who is on this life. These things are what you can easily do for yourself. Resources are out there for anybody to use. If you have any particular question, even if you don't reach out to me, reach out to people who are already in the system, who have gone through this. We have something to dish out. Okay, now how long did it take you?
Okay,
Because
so the
this,
express entry journey, to cut you
yeah,
short, uh, you need to have grit. You need to be patient. Like you need to wear patience like a cloth, sew it and wear it like a
mm,
cloth. It took me like 3 years.
3 freaking years. Why? I was kind of proud of myself that mine took me what again? Over I think 21 months. Yes, thereabout.
It took me
Mine
three.
took me 21 because my case was different. I had to add spouse at some point, add children and all that. But I mean, for a young single person, why 3 years? What's up?
Okay, so you know these things. If you don't like pay so much attention to it, you waste a lot of time. So
Yeah,
when I started out at first, I didn't have all the informations I needed. Okay, they tell you for you to get into the express entry pool, you need to verify your results, you need to write your IELTS, but nobody tells you that the scores you get in your IELTS really matters.
really matters. Yeah.
Yes. So when I wrote the first IELTS. That was in September 2021. Okay, it took me 2 years actually. September 2021, I just had the band seven, and they tell you, oh, you need a band seven to, get into Canada. And I was in the pool for like a while.
Hmm.
Ah, so when the whole Nigeria started being Nigeria, I'm like, no, something must be wrong. And before you knew it, my what do you call it? My profile expired because it takes 1 year.
Yes, one
Expire.
year. Correct.
I had to get into the pool again, and then I now faced it on. So I want to state here that I wrote IELTS 6 times.
You tell me that part. Interesting. That is persistence. I'm proud of you. Right.
Mm. Yeah. So I wrote
Wow.
6 times. Yeah.
And I've been begging people to write once.
I wrote 6 times.
Um,
I wrote the last four, I wrote it back to back every month.
hmm. Wow, that's persistent.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about your challenges. Before we talk about the lessons, what challenges did you face as a person? Because I would like people to learn from this experience. You know, if you learn from someone, the journey will be a lot shorter for you. What were your challenges, and how did you, overcome this?
Um, from where we're coming from, the first challenge you would have is finance. Like that's the
Yeah,
reality.
yeah.
That's the major challenge. Then secondly, uh, you need to be there. How do I like? I'm looking for the best choice of word. You need to be resilient. That's the thing. So if you are not resilient as a person, that's a challenge on its own.
Hmm,
Because along the way or along the line, you will just get discouraged and drop and just like I'm not doing this thing. And um the exams, I didn't have information initially, as I said. I didn't have a lot of informations. I learned my lessons along the way.
hmm,
Okay, yeah. I learned my lessons along the way. That was why I wrote the IELTS 4 times. I didn't know that I needed to concentrate more on two major modules, which are the listening and the writing. Okay, because these two modules are the ones that impact your score.
hmm,
That's the honest truth. Yes, you might have an 8 in reading and in speaking, but if you have a 7 in listening, no, sorry, you're still where you are.
hmm.
Yeah. So information, finance. At some point, I was able to balance it because I was doing it alone. It was not easy,
I
but
know.
we are
I
here.
know. Are we happy to be here, right?
Yeah.
So on that issue of we are here, why did you choose Alberta?
Okay. Like When people ask me this, I tell them the same thing. First, I grew up in the bubbly city of Lagos. I worked in Lagos. I didn't want the core Lagos life. I wanted somewhere that would give me opportunities but will not be so busy. One. Two, family. I wanted a province that would support sponsorship for my siblings easily without me breaking my neck and looking for how to do it. Yes,
Right.
and Alberta was that province for me. Thirdly, I wanted where would be a bit cheaper for a newcomer to navigate and settle in easily without facing depression. Let's quote.
So, are you saying that we in Ontario are depressed? Come on.
No, I'm talking about mental health here. So, so, so I've, I've heard stories of people in Ontario. The rent is so high, life is so expensive there, and you're coming with your naira that you just
Mm,
meagerly changed to dollar. You're not even
right.
sure of getting a job, or you will have a job in the next 3 to 6 months. You need to manage your naira to be able to, be afloat. So,
Yeah.
those three major factors were it for me. Yeah, and no regrets.
And no regret. Looking back, that's
Yes,
I was trying to ask you that question. So looking back, no regrets.
no regrets.
Talking about getting a job, when I create YouTube videos, I also watch other people talk about this. I hear people telling you, um, let me circle back to the first question I asked you. People will tell you leave in 3 months. That is why I asked you that question. While how long did it take you? That's number one. Number two was the point where I see people telling you, if you come in right away, the job is there. I would like to know, in all honesty, how long did it take you to get your first job in Canada?
In all honesty, okay, I got into Canada on the 9th of October 2023. I started my first job on the 4th of December 2023.
So roughly 3 months, right?
Yeah,
Okay, that's being realistic. But everyone is not the same. So, like we said, our talent and our gifts and our you know abilities are different. Our luck as well, because sometimes it boils down to luck smiling on you.
yeah.
There are a lot of people I've seen. Theirs was lot longer. I came in with my spouse. She got a job before I did, though I
See,
had Canadian experience.
see,
Because that's one thing they'll ask you in Canada. What is your Canadian experience? Even till
experience.
tomorrow. Um, she got, even funny enough, I was even the one that sent her the job, and she got she got it before I was able to get it. So she got the job second month, but it took me more than 6 months to get a job. So, like you said, we are still eating, feeding on our naira until she got that particular job. That is why I wonder when people tell us out there in the social media, come in, the jobs are there, Canada is begging. That is the one that drives me crazy. They will tell you Canada is begging for workers in this place. No, it's challenging even for those already in here, let alone somebody outside already.
Mhm.
But I'll come back to it because interestingly, okay, in the comment section, somebody is saying I was sharing about exams and scores. Please let her recap it. What exam is that? I think he's asking about your IELTS. Can you just quickly recap that before we move on?
Okay, so yeah, the IELTS, of course, that's like the major thing you need, and your not your professional experience, your degree results that has been verified to get into the profile express entry system to have a profile. But here, the emphasis I'm making on the IELTS is that IELTS makes or mars your express entry points. That's like
Yes.
a major determinant. Take it from somebody who wrote 6 times. So, um, if you've not written before, or if you have written and you're wondering why your score is low, please pay attention to your listening and your writing. Okay. So you're listening at point 8 and you're writing at point 7 gives you an extra 50 points.
Can you say that again?
You're listening at point 8, 8.0, and you're
Yeah,
writing at point 7.0. Where reading and speaking is at 7 individually, gives you an extra 50 points.
really crazy.
Yeah. So if you had listening initially at 8.0 and you had your writing at 6.5, you don't have the 50 points. You're
Hmm.
losing 50 points. If you have your writing at 7.0 and you have your listening at 7.5, you are losing 50 points.
Wow, Mado.
Yes. So
Yeah,
so it's crazy. You need to understand how this impacts your score.
yeah,
And it also impacts your professional experience because you will not max it out.
yeah.
So if you max out your IELTS at 8 for listening, 7 for speaking, 7 for reading, and 7 for writing, you have maxed out your IELTS score. You're also maxing out your professional experience, your work experience score.
Hmm.
Yes.
Right. Thank you so much for that. I believe this has already answered the particular question. Now, one thing I want to learn from you is what is life in Alberta like? Because personally, for me in Ontario now, if I'm to commute to my workplace, I'm going west. I'm going with the traffic. So it takes me on a normal day, like today is a Sunday, if I go to that same location, to take me 20, 22 minutes. But on a work day, it takes me 45 to 15 minutes. So twice the time because of the traffic and stuff like that. So if I'm somebody who is, opposed to stay in the traffic for long and stuff like that, what is the Alberta situation like? That is one in terms of life. Then ease of life, government, supporting you and stuff like that. What is it like in Alberta?
So ease of life in Alberta is on a scale of 1 to 10. From
Yeah.
with my 1 year experience here, I'll give it a 7. Yeah, I'll give it a 7, which is an A.
Wow.
So yes, but one thing with the transit system in Alberta is that it's not solid. So if you don't drive in Alberta, you're doing yourself a disservice. I'm not driving yet because I live a bit close to work,
Hmm.
and I'm not ready to pay insurance and parking fees yet. Yeah, so it's just like a personal decision for now until next year when I make up my mind. So um on a normal day, business hour, rush hour, there's usually traffic, but it's not as bad as Ontario, from what I have seen and what I've read. Okay. Um, there are 4 points. We have the northwest, the northeast, southwest, and south, like southeast, northwest. And it's just 4 points. So
Right.
it can take you averagely 30 minutes to travel between the two ends of Calgary. I live in the city of Calgary.
Hmm.
Averagely 30 minutes, yes. So take for example, you're driving from you live in southeast, which is people say is the farthest, and you walk in southwest. Averagely takes you 30 minutes. You have to be driving. But if you're commuting, that's like 2 hours.
Hmm.
Because the transit system is not friendly because of the
Yeah.
merry-go. Yes. Yeah. So it's kind of
Oh,
fair. Apart
yeah.
from work rush hours, yes.
What about living expenses? Let's start with housing. Like for somebody who is single now, a standard one bedroom. Let's talk about one bedroom.
Mm.
How much does it cost?
So a standard 1 bedroom, given or putting into consideration age of house,
Yeah.
you have new buildings and older buildings. So a standard 1 bedroom, it depends on the kind of apartment. If it's a condo unit or a basement unit, the prices differ. Okay. So if you live in a basement, a newer basement, 1 bedroom, uh all bills inclusive, you should be looking at averagely 1,500 a month.
1,500 Canadian dollars a month
Yes, a
with
month.
utilities, right?
With utilities, yes. For the condo unit for 1 bedroom, all bills inclusive, you should be looking at 1,700 for newer buildings for condo. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Then for
So
older buildings, 1 2, one
oh,
3. Yeah.
so I can get maybe 800, 900.
According to people that were here 2 years
Yeah.
ago, you could get 2 years ago. You would only get a house of 800 if there's not been any recent renovations in the house.
Huh.
Yes.
Right. You know why I'm asking this is I read something on social media talking about somebody said to leave Nigeria is expensive. To also live in Nigeria is also expensive. Now, the truth of the matter is this: migration is, I call it a capital project. It's capital intensive. It costs a lot of money. So that's why I'm putting out this figure so that people have an idea of maybe the living expensive I need to even factor in before I get my first job. If you are lucky, you might have it in few weeks. But I usually advise plan for maybe 3 6 months. You never can tell what will happen. You are right when you said 2 years ago, people said yes, you can get 8 900. I started my journey in Winnipeg. Winnipeg is also another cheap area where you can settle, but it's very, very cold. Okay. Even more than Calgary. I think is very cold compared to Calgary. Things are cheaper then. I started when I was paying 500 per month for 1 bedroom apartment. But now I think it's close to 1,000. So things are also very, very much expensive. But amidst all these figures and possibly maybe scary things we are putting out there, do you think is worth the while having made this step? Looking back, what you're earning now and what you're earning before, side by side, what do you think?
Okay. I have a phrase. My only regret is not leaving earlier. Yeah. Yeah. But in Nigeria, as a young girl,
Yeah,
I was pretty doing comfortably well for me
yeah,
to
I know.
even move. Yeah.
Yeah.
So um if I'm to move again, I will move again.
Mm,
So yes.
right.
The quality of life is beautiful. Yeah. So in Nigeria, I would always look over my shoulders in terms of security.
Mhm.
Yeah. But here, it's getting a bit bad, but when I mean bad, compared to what they said it was before,
Yeah,
not compared to where me I am coming from.
yeah.
So when they say securities are a bit bad, I just nod because I don't contribute to that because I know where I'm coming from.
It's in the worst.
Yes. So
Supposedly the worst. Yeah,
supposedly the worst. So yes, if you have the opportunity, the quality of life is not comparable.
yeah, I agree with you. But now, based on your experience, for people on this call and people who will watch this after now, what pathway do you think? I will come back to what you're doing right now because that's also shocking. Somebody who started, you know, from procurement experience, that's what brought you into what you are doing now. We'll still come to that, but I want to know from your experience, for somebody who even doesn't know where to start, what is the best pathway for me to pursue my Canadian dream as of today? From your experience, I'll still share mine, but from your own experience.
From my experience as of today,
Yeah,
the federal skilled worker uh, draw has not been friendly. The pointing has not been friendly. It's been over 500 for for the last time I can remember. Okay,
yeah.
so uh, to be honest, if you don't have a Canadian experience in terms of work experience and in terms of educational degree, you cannot have a 500. Or
Mm,
if you don't have a second language like French, you cannot near 500. Okay, even
right.
if you are less than 30, the most you can be is around 480, 482.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. If you have siblings, that gives you an edge, an advantage. So if you have siblings in a particular province, look towards that province. Then apart from a federal skilled working system, if you have experience in agriculture, Canada is looking at in demand now. They are doing their draws are occupation based now,
Yeah.
or sector based, if that's the right word to use. So if you are in trades, you might not be so lucky if you're not inside Canada because you need to be licensed. That's the problem with trades. Okay. But if you are in agriculture, if you are in tech,
Mhm.
and if you are in construction, you stand a chance. Yeah. Trades, the scores are lower, but the problem with it is that you need to be licensed in Canada, to the best of my knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the best pathway is
Mhm.
healthcare, um, tech, and what other one? Agriculture.
Agriculture.
Yes, for now. They are still under 400s.
Okay, thank you. Let me ask it this way. Let's say, for example, what I'm doing in Nigeria, Kenya, or wherever my viewers are watching us from now is not related to healthcare. Because remember, in November, a new pathway that will give what they call, I don't know how they do it, but a new pathway that will give healthcare, what's it called? Um, I'm losing this word now. But there's a new pathway coming up in November that will give PR on arrival to caregivers. Yes, that's the word, to caregivers. Now, let's say I'm not in that field currently. Based on your experience, how can I get myself to be in a vantage position to benefit from that pathway? Is there a
Okay.
course that I can take? Is there things I can do even while still in my home country to put myself in a position where I can benefit from that PR on arrival for caregivers?
Yes. Um, it's still pilots. We don't have so much information about it because everybody is waiting for that information. But from what they have put out, yes, you can have at least a minimum of 6 months experience as a caregiver. Okay. You don't have to have educational experience on it. Just have verifiable work experience on it. Then the bottleneck with it is that according to what they have put out so far, is that you need a job offer in Canada for you to
Right.
qualify. So if you have an agency that can offer you a job, please rush them. Yeah. So yes, everybody can benefit from that, but that
Yeah.
particular bottleneck is where the problem is. You need an agency to offer you a job.
The job offer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, let me now reveal that my question I have pending. You are no longer working in procurement, right?
Nope. Nope.
Exactly. So, which sector are you working in now?
Okay, the same healthcare. So when you come into Canada, you have to sit down after sending out tons of applications and you receive tons of unfortunately. You have to you have to sit down and ask yourself question, what
Right.
next?
Yeah.
So I asked myself the same, what next? So in Canada, there are in-demand sectors. Tech is always in demand. Healthcare is in demand. You don't, regardless of what part of healthcare, you don't have to be a medical doctor. You don't have to be a nurse. You don't have to be a pharmacist, dentist, and all of that to be in healthcare. That's what we call the healthcare aid and the personal support workers. It's also healthcare. Okay, but they are not core professionals like the ones I mentioned earlier before. So
Mm.
when I asked myself, what next? Healthcare came, like I had to answer my question. Healthcare. I didn't want to go to tech. Why? Because, you know, most of us, where we're coming from, we have a reason for coming here. Okay. And tech is ever evolving.
Yeah.
So I don't want to wake up one day while in tech and not have a job.
Mm.
Yes. So I had to ask myself, if you go into tech, yes, tech is like oil money, but you can wake up one day and not have a job. So tech out. What next again? Healthcare for me. So I got into healthcare. Now I work as a support worker in mental health, but I'm trying to pivot into nursing, like I told you before. So
Yeah.
the good thing is that my background was in biological sciences, so it's not going to be so difficult to pivot into nursing. And I already have hands-on experience in support in mental health. So at the moment, I'm working in mental health slash developmental disability sector.
Hmm. Thank you. That's super deep. Now, my worry is this: how did you do it? You didn't have any experience working in mental health for in Nigeria, right? From
Yes,
what you just said, it was in construction and admin. So, how did
yes.
you manage to navigate that pathway, that gap in between? How did you close it?
Okay, so um, you can choose. There are options for you. You can choose to do a course in personal support work. That's too expensive for something that is not professional for me. Okay, so I don't want to come in and start going to school and taking student loans for a course that I know that will not pay my bills in the next 7 years. Okay, so what was it? What did I do? I structured my CV. I went to those. There are agencies that are willing to take you without experience, but they will not pay you so much, but they are willing to train you.
They won't
But
pay you, but they are willing to train you.
yeah, they would pay you, but the rate is
Not
not
so much.
competitive. Yes, it's not as competitive as the ones that you're already trained. Okay,
Okay.
but yeah, but you know that you cannot apply for a job without a resume. Something has to be in your resume.
Yeah.
All right. Before I came to Canada, I'm going to put it here. Um, I tried to um, intern in an hospital for a while, but I was working. I couldn't juggle the two. Okay. So, because they said, oh, when you're coming to Canada, look for something, a skill. I'm not artistic, so I don't know how to make it and all those things. I use my brain most of the time. So, what can I do? Yeah. So, I tried to intern in an hospital, but I didn't even do it more than a month. So, I had to put it there in my resume. Yeah. But again, I did not put 1 month. Figure that out. Yeah.
I know, I know. I think it's part of what they call packaging, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. I have put that in the comment section. Get an internship experience even while still back home.
Yeah.
Now, those agencies you mentioned, for those of us that might be outside Canada for now, do you think, having worked with them, do you think we can reach out to them and they help us maybe get that courses done or give us that job offer, with expectation of the November thing? Do you think that's feasible?
I don't want to discourage anyone. I don't
Yeah.
know. I cannot for a fact answer that question.
Okay.
But I know that the agency I work with is one of the biggest in Canada, but they were not willing to sponsor the students who were already in our midst, like people who had finished school that needed sponsorship. They were already working with the agencies in Canada, okay? But they were not willing to sponsor. They were not sponsoring. So they don't sponsor. So I don't know about other agents. I'm not going to speak for them. I'm
Yeah,
speaking
for
for
sure.
where I work.
For sure.
Yeah.
But based on experience, like, we are not discouraging anybody, okay? We're just stating the facts as they are. Um, we see a lot of things out there that will tell you, meet this agency, just, I call it throw your CV and they will give you a job. Is that realistic considering the things on ground currently? Can I easily get a sponsored opportunity out there? Easily is the word.
In healthcare, I doubt. Maybe tech, you might get a sponsorship from outside of Canada. Yeah, tech. Yes, I'm sure about tech. But for healthcare, I'm not so sure. But again, it might be agencies that are in the interior part of Canada. So
Rural
let's,
Canada.
yeah, so let's not, um, talk about or based on the cities, major cities. There are some parts of Canada that needs immigrants actually. So they might be speaking for those ones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But the thing is this, do you think is something I can finalize in 3 to 6 months time?
First, you even need to get the agency, getting that agency and shooting them those emails. That's the thing. So, who are you shooting? Is the agency real? Or is there somebody who is masquerading as the agency?
How do I differentiate? Because
That's
that's
the
the
thing.
how do I differentiate? You know, is there something I will see and I'll know this is a red flag? I mean, how do I dig out these agencies for somebody who doesn't know? For those inside, yes, you can tell. But for
Yeah.
somebody outside, how do I know? What can I see? And this is a red flag for me.
If anything is as so good to be true, is a red flag. If anybody's asking you for money in Canada to sponsor you, is a red flag.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Before I jumped on this call, I saw somebody saying 2 years work permit, processing fee 8,000 USD.
No agency in Canada will ask you for that. In fact, if that agency exists, people in Canada will have reported them.
I mean, that's what I tell people. No agency will, in Canada will ask you to pay 1 naira for anything. The employers pay these guys to get them people, not you, the candidate, paying them. So that
Yeah.
is a big red flag for me. But I mean, you can do more. There's little you can do, and decision is for everybody to take.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm still asking you guys to leave your questions in the comment section. Now, when you talked about resume, I know it's a big thing, you know, but from your experience, how do I really tweak my resume at least to stand a chance to be read?
Ah, if you have lived in Lagos and you have packaged your life, when you come to Canada, you will learn to package your resume. So, so that's just me being
Yeah.
playful there. So, um, there's this saying that they say Canadians like when you lie.
Hmm.
Yeah, they like you to lie. So, package the resume. Well, if you lie and you can defend it, oh, fine.
I think that's it. Can you defend it? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are there things from your experience I need to take out from my resume? I was discussing with somebody before I came on this call, and okay, send me your resume. He did. I promised him to talk about it in this call. Based on your experience, you had your resume while in Nigeria. Are you still maintaining that same resume here? What did you take out? What did you put back in? And what can I do leaving this call to work on my resume at least to make it stand a chance?
So I took out a lot of things.
Yeah,
Canadians don't like your resume too lengthy, so keep it short.
2 pages
And
max to me.
2 pages, yes. Keep it short and keep it powerful. So let your one statement be very powerful. Put it in bullet points. Canadians don't care about your religion or anything, and any personal information. They just want your name, your email, and your phone number as your personal information. Every other thing should be about your job. But again, keep it simple.
Can I put my marital status? Like,
Nope.
my marriage is shocked me. My flaunt that.
No, anything your the only personal information that they need from you is your name. In fact, your first and your last name. They don't even need your middle name. I
Middle
know,
name.
so they don't need your middle name. They need your email and they need your contacts. Yeah.
Okay, right. Let me just quickly, based on my own personal experience, talking about name, I had to take out my first name and use my middle name. Because I discovered over time my first name was a little bit more lengthy for people to get by. And I was on a call, the recruiter was saying, of though unfortunately, but she was being frank that if she has a David on one resume and another name she can pronounce, that she will go for David first.
Yes.
It's, it was a reality check for me. So at that point, I had to drop my lengthy first name and use my middle name. And I kept in my middle name and last name. That is one thing I did. Second experience I had was I had my PhD coming in here. You know how we value certificates in Africa and some of
Yeah.
this part of the world. I was putting in PhD.
Hmm.
So I stayed in the labor market, like I told you guys, for up to 6 months. Nothing was coming in. So I discussed with one guy. He said, okay, send me your resume. Let me take a look. I sent my resume. The guy was like, what are you doing? You go take for here. That was his word. It was like, you go take. I'm like, what's up? He said, okay, look at your qualification. You are flaunting PhD. The manager in your office might just be a college graduate.
Yes.
The hiring manager you are applying to come and work for or under might just be a college graduate. So keep this low. When you get in, if there's an opportunity for that, then you can now bring it up. So I learned that sometimes go through the JD, that's the job description, see what they are requiring. They will tell you what they need. If they tell you a master's is an asset, then it's an advantage. You can put it there. So from my experience, I removed my PhD. I went down to my bachelor's and I started getting calls.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
It's,
the issue of timing, but there's a thing of about being overqualified that is
yes.
real. Yes,
Yes. So
overqualification. Yeah,
when I was applying, I don't even remember I have a master's degree. I only
there
use
you
my
go.
master's for my express entry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's just in my, suitcase there looking at me. And back to resume again, packaging your resume. So this works. You don't have to overpackage. If you have a particular job you're applying for, go to the job description, copy it there. You can just put it in sentence, size it into past tense,
mm,
and put the same thing there.
yeah,
Yeah. Just reconstruct it to be past because you did it. But have the same job description. You'll be called for an interview.
for sure. Doing this is also advantageous because I mean, when they pass it through the 8 years, your score will be a little bit higher than normal.
Yes.
That is the way the recruiter will even pick up your CV and take a second look. People don't have time. Usually, most big companies they pass your resume through the 8 years. It's based on the scoring system. If they want to take first 10, so but once you do this, and a farmer just this pro tip now, put it in sentence form, put it in past tense form, then your score definitely will be high. That is that about resume. Then one other thing I want to discuss with the person on this call is simply if you're looking for a postdoctorate degree, make your resume to be about what you've done, the researches you've done, not about what you feel you can do. Give them something tangible in your resume, what you've already done. If you have published articles, put it there. Yours is no longer resume, but a curriculum vitae, a CV now, because you're in the academic field. Put in linking them to where your articles are published, and that is the way they can know that this person can actually publish articles, write something that is tangible, something that can be reckoned with. That is one thing I did before I got that partnership that took me to University of Winnipeg for part of my PhD. So if you're able to do these things together, I believe you will see a difference from the resume you sent to me this afternoon. That is it for that. I see no question on the comment section anymore. So and I would like to end this at this point. If anybody is dropping any question, please do it right away. Then Afama, what are your last words before we call this a day?
My last words, it might not be easy, but do it. Yeah. It might not be easy. If you really want to move, it might be discouraging at the moment, but do it.
Hmm. Is it worth the sacrifices? Like, I mean, I feel lonely sometimes. How do you guys cope? I have a family, but sometimes you feel that loneliness. How do you cope?
As for a single person,
Yeah. As a matter
it's
of
not
you're still single, right?
yeah, it's not
Hey,
easy.
I'm not
It's
putting
not
your details out there. Sorry, just as an aside, as we are talking now, people buy contractual marriage up to 60,000 Canadian dollars.
I know.
I saw something last week. because somebody was boldly advertising 65K contract marriage. By the way, is very illegal. I don't preach any legality on my platforms.
Yeah.
The immigration system, if you do it legitimately, you're going to enjoy it. The system will support you in whatsoever way you can think of. But when you want to come in, begin to do some illegalities, there are a lot of things people do. But I mean, I encourage you, do it the right way. Like she said, you are going to enjoy it. Is sacrifice worth it at the end of the day? Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I can't even remember. I lost my. I lost my
Sorry,
line of thoughts.
you were talking about the last words, okay?
Oh yeah,
And I
it's
said, how
worth
do
it
you cope as a
actually.
single person?
Okay, as a single person, it's not easy.
Yeah.
But again, when you remember why you left home,
Hmm.
singleness will just disappear. And the what do they call it? The loneliness will just disappear. It gets crazy during the
Yeah.
depressing months. We have depressing months actually.
Which one
Uh
is yours, winter or summer?
Winter, please. Summer I'm everywhere.
Okay,
Uh,
winter is coming. Now,
yeah.
there's something I promised somebody to handle on this call. He asked me, although I called him personality, but he might help people out there. Is it better for me to come in as a single person or for me to come in with my spouse? And even if I have children, is it better to come with everybody or to come in as a single person, then later they will join me? From your own experience, I'll also share mine and we'll call it a day.
So everything has advantages. Let me be candid, okay? If you Canada loves family. They love
True.
the family unit. So there is more support to families. Okay. They do everything to encourage people to build families. Okay. So if you're coming in as a family, because the system is a bit expensive for newcomers to navigate, two income household is the bomb,
Mm.
right? And there's a reduced tax for you guys compared to us. That's the thing. So if you can come in with your partner, it's going to be easy because if you just came in as a newcomer trying to navigate, everywhere is so alien, so new, the system is new, you're going to have mental breakdown. Let me be candid.
Mm.
Yeah. So imagine doing it alone, trying to settle in alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you come in with your partner, at least you have a support system somewhere. Right. You might not want to come in with your kids if they are still much older. But again, can you afford to go back and bring them in? That's the thing. As a newcomer,
So you have to strike a balance now.
yes, strike a balance. But coming in as a single person has its advantages too. If you want to pivot careers like I want to do, nothing is dragging me back. Yeah, childbearing is not dragging me back, except I just want to, drag my foot on
Yeah.
it. So it's easy for you to, do these things and easy for you to put in the work. Yeah, without any side distractions.
So the flexibility is there as a single person.
Yes. Like now, I'm going to work this afternoon. I just picked up the shift.
Now that's interesting. When you say picked up the shoe, I mean educate us. Where did you pick it up? Where did you drop it? Where did you pick it
So,
up from?
so ideally, I don't work on Sundays. So on
Yeah.
my way to work, on my way from church, I got a call from my team lead. Can you cover this afternoon, 3 to 11?
Yeah.
I looked at it. I had an appointment for 1 to maximum 2:30. I'm like, sure, I don't have anything doing. Please put
Mm.
me.
No.
But
Wow.
if I have kids, I
Yeah.
have, yeah,
You have to consult home.
yeah,
Sometimes if I get overtime, I have to call my wife. Babe, you have something fixed already.
you get
But
it.
I
So
mean, yeah,
that's it.
it is what it is. Like each one has its own,
Mm-hmm.
advantage and disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, wow, amazing time. Thank you. I didn't know you had a job after now, but I mean, thank
It's
you,
okay. I
thank
just
you,
picked it up.
yeah, thank you for doing this. Now, for somebody on this call that will leave this call now, where do you suggest the person to start from on this journey? Where can I leave this call and start from?
It depends on your age. If you're a bit younger, if you're a core professional, if you're in the healthcare, start from creating your express entry profile. If you don't have one yet, yes.
All right, but there's one they call the PMPs, right? It's still tied to the express entry.
Yes, it's still tied to the express entry, but now it's province uh like managed. So if that one is a bit tougher because every province needs or have the what they are that have their specific needs. Okay, so if their needs is in agriculture
Mm.
and your professional experience is in healthcare, they won't invite you. Yeah. So whatever the thing is, just stay afloat.
So what I can simply do is to visit the website of each of these provinces and look at what they are interested in and see how
Yeah.
I can, make my choice. I'm sure for those in Saskatchewan, they are very much interested in agriculture. That is the food basket of Canada.
Mm,
Um, those in Alberta, energy sector and stuff like that, that's where you have to look out for. If
yeah.
you're in IT, you think towards Ontario based vis-a-vis, the cost of living and everything. IT, you can do remote work for sure. I have a cousin of, not cousin, but my in-law, my wife's cousin, who was employed even while he was still in Nigeria. He's an IT guy. He worked for this company, I think, over a year from Nigeria. You know what that means? You're earning Canadian dollars
And you're
and you're
spending the naira.
spending naira. Hey, that's
Mhm.
crazy. So the guy came in. We were as a newcomer, we are pitying him, showing him smaller houses. The guy left
And
us.
you
We
went
went
to
to
because you
went
had already
to-
saved so much.
he has already saved some money. That is about planning. Having saved over a year. So that is how to do it. From this call, look at your work experience, like we said. It doesn't really matter what you studied. As a matter of fact, in Canada, you can pivot your career at any point in your life. You might come in as a med lab scientist. You can decide maybe after a month, I don't want to do it anymore. You switch to something entirely. The funding is there for you to study. Okay. Don't be deterred by what you studied. Make sure you can make maximum use of your work experience. Like she advised, each province has their own interests. I've given you a tip. Go to their official website, see the past draw. That is the only way you can figure it out right away. See which sector did they invite people from. That will tell you where their head is at.
Mm.
And that is a good point for you to start from. Okay, in the absence of any further questions, I would like to thank you again, Afoma, for making our time for this particular talk. Um, I would like to also say that I'll bring more people who are already in Canada because to me, that's the best way to learn from people. I stopped doing sponsorship videos. As a matter of fact, my highest viewership was when I did videos on healthcare, sponsorship from outside. But I discovered it wasn't working. And I'm one kind of guy who doesn't sell things I don't believe in. It wasn't working for now because those in Canada as well, they are finding it difficult even to get these jobs. So most employers are shying away from sponsoring people to come over to just do what they can easily find people locally to do. For example, the caregivers and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean you can't continue to try. But I like to advise people, why keep trying when you can do things and have more assurance that this will succeed? Time is money. Um, if you are 34 today, next year you're 35, your points will keep dropping in the scheme of things. So that is why I stopped doing videos about sponsorship for you to come and work as caregiver because there are a lot of other pathways you can come into Canada with. I have more surety. People ask me, why don't you talk about people coming on visiting visa and refusing to go and things like that? I don't talk about it because it's illegal. You came in as a visitor. It's up to you if you want to go claim asylum and all that. It's tightening up. People are also losing out on that pathway. So if you can agree with us, follow your Canadian dream legitimately. You will enjoy it at the end of the day. Sponsorship by the government or families and all that, you have them. and I'll try to bring up more people as well to share their views. She's coming from a procurement background, now she's working in healthcare, trying to pivot into nursing. Those in IT as well, I also bring them in. Those in medical school, I spoke with a medical doctor. He studied in Nigeria. He's doing residency in Canada. That is possible. So there are a lot of things you can do which you don't know, but which I will try to bring people who are already living that dream here in Canada to tell you how they did it. And I mean, the choice is yours to follow the pathway you feel is best for you. So thank you very much, guys, for being with us on this one. Thank
Before
you
we
for
go,
those already acknowledging receiving our vouchers. If you
can you
haven't,
hear me?
try to find one or two of them um, to recharge.
Can you hear
Thank
me?
you. Yes, Afoma. Thank you.
Yeah, before we go, I just want to add this. If you can learn French, learn French.
Yes, somebody mentioned that in comment section.
Yeah.
Yes,
If you can learn French, learn French.
I advise somebody. I think she's doing the class now, a
Yes.
couple of months ago, because why she's saying this is the point. The point system is tilting towards those that can speak French. Aside that as well, but that is the basic thing now. Those in French they are receiving draws having 400 and something, but those who cannot speak are both 500. Am I correct?
Yes.
So that is why she say if you can learn French, learn it now, irrespective of your age. If you can speak French and you're in the express entry pool, believe you me, you'll be invited to apply. I know it might be expensive taking the test and all that. I think in Nigeria, Alliance Francaise in Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Abuja, they're also offering those classes. There are people also offering it online, but ensure you know where you are putting your money. But it will be worth it at the end of the day, especially if age is not on your side. At least for now, the dynamics, they change, but for now, for the time being, please go learn French if you can learn it. Any final words? I think I've said this for like 3 or 4 times, but I think that is all from me. I don't know if you have anything, Afoma, before we end
That's
this
all.
call. That's all.
That's
Thank
all.
you very much for being with us. And thank you guys. Have a beautiful week. And for us in Canada, it's Thanksgiving. So I will say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Have a good one. See you on the next one. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.